it's pretty good stuff. I mean, there was like a pretty big tree that was down on the middle of the street.
I saw your Twitter.
Yeah,
X
so there was that
post.
and stuff. And I still say
in my web stories, I've been putting,
Yeah.
they've been posted on X, formerly known as Twitter.
That's what everyone, yeah.
Because I just like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I mean, but good thing no one was hurt, anything
Yeah.
like that. And Chief Hood showed up later on, and we got a quick interview with him and stuff.
Okay. What did he say?
Well, he said that, I mean, he said that it was, you know, not like significant damage out there, but knocked out power and obviously like the fence for the school, you know, all that stuff. And there was some rooftop damage to the apartment that was right next door.
Was that the Alvaco?
The alcove?
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, we have a photo. Someone
Yeah.
sent a photo of that.
Yeah. So I think because they sent in that photo, that's why we went there.
Makes sense.
Because I got here like right before 9, and it was like, well, where did this thing touch down?
Chaos.
Did this thing hit? Yeah. and so I went into the weather center, and Justin, like, I even took a picture of it. He was like, I would go like right here. And I was just like, where is it?
This area.
Yeah. He was just like, that area.
Circled it.
And I was like,
I love it.
okay.
Thanks,
it was like just
Justin.
37, 35. Just gonna, and then he was like, oh, look, someone just sent in a photo. So, yeah.
Lovely. Okay, so for this, I guess it's just going to come out to a 2-shot, and you and I can just banter about, like, it's been a crazy morning.
Yeah.
We've got some heavy rain, things like that. And then after that, we'll go into KSAT Connect photos. I'll show, actually, should go run and put that in my show real quick. I'll show radar, current stuff, and then I'll do more weather, like talking about rain chances going forward. And then I'm going to end with the cold front stuff. So maybe afterwards, you and I can like wrap it up by being like, how excited are we for cold air? Or like it's immediately going to winter, something like that.
We're up now. Are we? Let me just double check.
Okay, give me 1 second. Can I come find you after K&N? Okay.
right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to, we could call this a special edition of KSAT News Now. It has been a very busy day across the entire San Antonio area. Very busy day in our newsroom, and that's why meteorologist Mia Montgomery is joining us right now, because y'all have had a lot of stuff going on in the weather department. Mia, what's kind of the latest situation? Yeah, just kind of explain what's going on.
Yeah, we have seen a lot kind of push through just San Antonio in general and surrounding areas since the sun came up. We had some scattered showers and heavy downpours that affected the morning commute. I know Justin Horn was doing traffic this morning, and he said that things were getting a little busy during the end of GMSA as we really started to see some of those heavier downpours move in. And really, for the most part, it was the heavy rain. That was the story until right around 8 a.m. this morning. Even KSAT Erica Hernandez, she was driving down I-35, and a lot of residents that were also on I-35 and 281 right around 8 o'clock saw a brief tornado form. It did hit the ground. We have photos and videos of debris and things like that that was lofted into the air. It was very brief though, and thankfully we have not heard of any injuries that were reported or things like that. So far, damage has been pretty minor. Right. But I know the big question that a lot of people have been asking today is how come we didn't see a warning that was issued or anything? And this is not, blaming the National Weather Service or anything like that. A lot of times, and with this particular weather setup, we've got plenty of moisture in the air, and there was just enough spin as you get up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It was so brief, and when we have this particular weather setup in place, typically it's there, and then it's not. Like if you didn't see it right then and there, you turn around, it's not going to be there anymore. So that was just kind of one of those things. And of course, we had another tornado warning near Canyon Lake that followed a little bit after that. And then one even in Wilson County, closer to the top of the noon show, just because these heavy downpours, while they haven't been producing a lot of lightning or anything like that, they're not gigantic supercells that are dropping golf ball sized hail, which is great. It's mainly just a rain thing that we've been needing to monitor. But every so often, if you see just a little bit of spin under the right conditions, we can see these brief little tornadoes pop up. And that's exactly what we saw today. Yeah,
and so I was out there earlier this morning in that neighborhood. There was this reported damage out there, and speaking with San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood, he said the same thing. It's very unexpected. I think for the neighbors and the residents that live there too, it was out of nowhere for them as well. So they were just kind of going about their morning. Next thing they know, and as you also kind of alluded to the fact that it was very brief. Yeah. I mean, it just kind of like flew through that one street off of Austin Highway. So one thing that Chief Hood said was that there were some people without power there. Okay. I think about 270 customers, and I know CPS was working on that. They were also no injuries or no major damage.
The best news that we could have gotten out of this situation.
Right. There were no fires as a result of this. No downed telephone lines or wires. Things like that. There was a tree that did fall from fall through the fence at the Southwest Preparatory there, the Northeast campus, but there were no students in that area. And they actually did email us a little bit earlier saying that their kids were safe. Obviously, kind of freaked out a little bit, as I'm sure that other people in the area and in the surrounding areas have been throughout the entire morning.
Yeah, definitely not something that you want to either wake up to or have to deal with the second that you get to school or work, is a brief little tornado moving through. I will say our executive producer, Jason, he's in the back, and he actually is going to be controlling some of the KSAT Connect photos and videos that we have. Jason, if you can hear me, if you can pop up maybe one of these videos or even a photo of some damage. So this Fort Sam Houston Alamo Heights area, which is the exact area that we've been talking about. This video is very interesting. You can start to see the lowering here, and I believe that could be a trampoline that was maybe loft. I know we did get some videos of trampolines that were kind of wedged into a couple of trees. There it is again. I'm not confirmed, but I think that's a trampoline just looking at it. But it's just a brief little funnel that quickly touches down, lofts some debris up into the air, and then it's just gone like that. And that really is the nature of today as well. And I know we had a couple of photos of, some of that minor damage that we were talking about. Joint Base San Antonio, they even tweeted this morning that here, okay, so this is from, I believe, Fort Sam Houston. It is. This was Daniela Ibarra. She was out there earlier today. You can see we've got some snapped tree branches, tree limbs, and even a tree trunk that kind of was snapped in half. And this is really bending over with the leaves there. But I believe in their tweet, they had said no injuries reported, but there was some damage to downed trees and even some damage to some cars. And I think on social media, I also saw that even the roofs of some buildings and some homes out that way did have a little bit of damage there as well. So by the way, we have a ton of different vantage points of the funnel and the tornado that touched down, all on KSAT Connect. You can find this, ksat.com/connect, and you also can visit KSAT Connect through your Weather Authority app. This also is a very telling video. This is from downtown in one of the high-rise buildings. So you can see we're kind of lofted off the ground here. This is a great video of it because you really can see the tornado touch down there. We've got debris, not exactly sure what kind of debris that is at the moment, but it's lofted into the air. It touches down, it kind of comes back up a little bit, but you certainly can see that rotation. And that's what had a lot of people, rightly so, freaked out on the interstate this morning. I-35, 281, we think that it started just east of 281 and just south of 35. Then it kind of crossed over I-35 near the New Braunfels exit right there. And then it moved closer to the Terrell Hills, Alamo Heights area, and then moved north a little bit, and then it was gone. But there's kind of a more defined view of that from Stretch Armstrong here. So again, ksat.com/connect is where we have so many different views and videos. Thank you to everybody who safely has been able to upload these. We have articles up on ksat.com as well. And here's kind of one of the last ones we'll look at. You were near this area, weren't you?
That we were at. That's right. And it's interesting that we brought this. Thanks for bringing this up, Jason. So we saw this damage there. They were already kind of patching the roof up when we were there and out covering this story. But you mentioned just how fast that debris and things that loose on the ground get picked up. There was debris from this roof all the way down the street, and in fact, I notified one of the residents in the area because I went and knocked on her door. I said, "Was your house damaged?" She's like, "No, I don't think so." And I pointed up at, I was like, "Well, look at your roof real quick." And so she was like, "Oh my God!" Like, no, and that it must have flown all the way from this apartment complex, the Alcove Apartments, to. So I mean, obviously, scary stuff when you see things flying like that in the air, and you just don't know where that stuff is going to fall or land. And so that resident was a little bit like, wow, I did not know that. She wasn't at home at the time, and she was safe. And again, everyone was safe in this area. But again, some pretty good damage there at the Alcove Apartments.
Yes, we are so thankful that there were no injuries reported or anything like that. And of course, we're going to continue to monitor all of the things throughout the remainder of the day. But really, I kind of just want to talk about what we have on the radar right now, what we can expect throughout the remainder of the day, and even look ahead to the weekend, because we've got big changes that are going to move in Sunday evening as we see a very strong cold front actually push into south central Texas. But of course, the big story today has been the heavy rain, even the brief tornado we had here in San Antonio. This is what's left of the activity right now. A lot of the more widespread kind of blanket of rain, which was associated with the energy we had earlier this morning, is closer to the Austin Round Rock area along and just east of I-35. That's filtering up into the Brazos Valley near College Station. But for us here in south central Texas, specifically in our viewing area, we had a couple of stronger thunderstorms push through southeastern Guadalupe County, moving towards Luling. A lot of that has started to dissipate, but we do still have some light rain and even some moderate to heavy rain there on the far south side of Guadalupe County there near Seguin. Even into Wilson County earlier today, closer to the noon show, we did have a tornado warning right along Highway 181 that stretched up closer to Stockdale. Haven't heard any reports of any confirmed tornadoes in Wilson County just yet, which is great. Hopefully that was the theme there. Of course, that has long since expired, but Floresville, Poth, Fall City, Hobson, even near Stockdale and Sutherland Springs and Lavernia, we've got some scattered heavy downpours moving through Wilson County there too. And then just some more spotty showers, spotty downpours generally south of San Antonio. For us here right now in the Alamo City, we're pretty quiet for the most part. We actually do have some peaks of sunshine we were just talking about right before our streaming started here. And then we did have a few more downpours there near Leon Springs, Timberwood Park, crossing over I-10, and even near Bernie. A lot of that activity has come to an end, but we have a few more light showers there near Bernie and the I-10 corridor too. Another big question, how much rain rain have we actually accumulated out there with all of this activity? Really, where you're seeing the yellows, that's over 2 inches of rain. Authority radar here is estimating in between 2 to even 3 inches in spots. Looks like just to the north of Schertz there and Cibolo, close to Marion, maybe even some localized higher totals. Same on the far northwest side, just outside of 1604 near Helotes. Scenic Oaks, Fair Oaks Ranch, near that area, another little swath of 2+ inches that have been estimated here by Authority radar. And you see how they're kind of in lines? That's because a lot of the storms that we've seen today have been training. And that essentially means that they're just following each other in a train. So overall, this activity as a big cluster has been pushing eastward, but within this piece of energy here, these individual little downpours have generally been following each other in from the southwest and pushing farther up to the northeast. So when we look at the 12-hour rainfall totals, that's why they are showing up in little streams like that. So flooding, you know, when you do tap into a lot of rain, multi-inch totals in a very short amount of time, we do need to monitor for flooding issues, especially where there are construction zones, even poor drainage spots, low-lying areas, things of that nature. And it's something we'll continue to monitor, but for us here in San Antonio, a lot of the activity is coming to an end. And like we mentioned, we've even seen some peaks of sunshine. So where do we go from here? Again, this activity is going to continue working eastward late this afternoon and this evening. A few more spotty showers and downpours possible though on the backside of that, kind of like what we've already seen today. We're going to keep about a 20 to 30% potential in the forecast through the overnight for maybe a few more isolated showers, but we're not finished with the rain chances. In fact, tomorrow, especially in the late afternoon and evening when we really start to see some of that daytime heat get put to work, we're going to introduce about another 40% potential for a few more spotty, widely separated downpours, maybe a couple of stray lightning strikes and things of that nature. So again, a 40% potential tomorrow. Then we catch a little bit of a break this weekend, about a 20% chance Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday night and Monday is really when we bump up those rain chances, because we see this very strong cold front move into south central Texas. This is going to impact Halloween. Yeah. It is going to feel less like fall and more like winter for Halloween. So yes, drop, yes, sure. Sunday arrival time, just after sunset, really in the evening hours is when we're expecting it. Of course, the farther north you go, you're going to see it a little bit earlier, and the farther south you are, it's going to take a little bit of time for that front to get to you. But this is the type of front where you'll know when it gets to you, because immediately you're going to start to see temperatures drop. Could drop 15 to 20 degrees in just a few hours by Sunday night, and by Monday morning, waking up, going to school, going to work, prepare for it to be cold. Temperatures in the 40s, wind chills potentially in the 30s, winds gusting because of that, upwards of 35 to even 40 miles per hour. So it is going to be a big change, considering we're going from the mid 80s potentially to the 40s by the first half of next week. So trick-or-treating, I know a lot of kids have been asking, parents too, what does the rain forecast look like for trick-or-treating on Tuesday? Well, temperature-wise, it's going to be cold, likely still a bit of a breeze, so bundle up. And as of right now, indications are that rain should be tapering off throughout the day on Tuesday, which is great news. Yeah. But again, we are still 6 days out, so that's going to be something to check back in on as we really fine-tune the rain timing here, especially as we get into this weekend.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things to consider, Mia. You talked about just the heavy rainfall. Something else Chief Hood mentioned was he keeps on reiterating it, turn around, don't drown. Said that there were a lot of high water rescues that San Antonio Fire Department had to respond to earlier today, and as we see here, it looks like things are still going to stay pretty wet outside, so something to definitely keep in mind. I know a lot of people have been asking me when do you guys actually get confirmation on whether something did
question.
touch down in that Alamo Heights or anywhere else in the area?
that's a fantastic question. So we were monitoring the chat that we have with the National Weather Service earlier today, and essentially what they said was their hope is to get meteorologists out here on the ground this afternoon and evening, but we do still have those downpours that we were talking about earlier just south of San Antonio and then closer to Seguin and Gonzales. So they need to monitor those, but if things start to quiet down and there's still enough daylight left, they'll get some people out here today to do their official survey, figure out the path, the length of the path, track intensity, things of that nature. But at the latest, you know, if they can't get to us today, then they'll probably save that for tomorrow.
Okay, and I know you guys are going to be app casting,
yes,
doing everything
we'll have,
the KSAT Weather
we'll
Authority
have
app.
everything. As we know the information, you will know the information. So we'll get it all up on ksat.com, your Weather Authority app, everything, our social media sites and digital sites as well as soon as we have it.
All right, I know you guys have done a great job. It's been a very busy morning. Justin finally went home. I know he was doing double duty.
He did. He needed to go take a nap.
Today, but yeah, we appreciate everything that you guys do. And again, this is something that we're gonna definitely keep an eye on as we get closer to the weekend. Of course, Dia de los Muertos out there, Hemisphere, something that we're gonna be a big part of. So something to just kind of keep in mind as we get ready for Halloween.
Yes.
All right, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us this afternoon. Make sure to stay safe, and again, turn around, don't drown. And we appreciate you guys hanging out with us for just a bit on this special edition of KSAT News Now.